I've been thinking a lot about this, and I think that unlike most tragedies, this has now gripped the entire world. But if you look at it in terms of what's gripped the entire world, think historically how civilization has gone through changes. And by what I mean by that is we've gone through, within some people's lifetime, these industrial revolutions. And the first one that occurred was in the 19th century, when suddenly people understood how to capture steam and use that to power, which changed the way people farming did it. And then the second industrial revolution occurred from late 1800s to the 1900s, where again the effect of electricity, this novelty, had drastically changed people's lives. And for some reason, in this second industrial revolution, I was thinking about what many people are now thinking, that I'm losing my identity, I'm losing my job through the use or advancement of technology. And I thought about the time when our great-grandfathers or grandparents would attend cinemas, and they would be entertained by live orchestras. Now suddenly, through electricity, through sound, we didn't need orchestras anymore. An entire industry was wiped out. And people, because they, for years, this is how they made their livelihood, and it changed. But again, people thought, oh, that the world is going to end, but it just evolved. And I think it's the same consideration. Let's fast forward to the late 1980s to now. We have the third industrial revolution, which involved mostly digital technology, personal computers, the internet. I mean, now these are things that I look at you, is second nature to you. You grew up with this. But in my generation, this was something most people struggle with. What is this? Again, it was this unknown certainty that it's affected and changed how we always lived. And now, for many of us, we're in the fourth industrial revolution, which involves the nanotechnology, the robotics, and these are things which have been creeping into our lives. I think what the pandemic has done now is accelerated this. And so, for example, when we start looking at what is going to happen to the workplace, many people are now turning towards technology to see how can we use this to make our environment safe. Even now, the most simplest form, we go about our ways, and before we enter space, we're scanned. We have readings on us. So technology is being made now so that we can quickly scan people and see, are they biologically fit? And these are things which, again, are not invasive, but again, this is by culture too, because in my country, they find this an outrage that you are invading my privacy, whereas in other parts of the world, no, this is the common good of all. So there is this mindset, basically, in talking about these so-called disruptions that occurred throughout our years of industrial revolutions, have changed, have evolved, and I feel very much we're going through the same thing now. And I think that, I know that for many people, they're full of anxiety because they're losing their jobs, they're losing their identity. But I also think that we have to also be reminded of these iconic architects, Ray and Charles Eames, where they had said, design is an outcome of constraints. Good design does not come without constraints. And so it's my way of saying we shouldn't be looking at all that is happening in a negative light, but an opportunity to move forward. What the answers are, I'm not sure yet, because it is evolving. And I think that many of us are trying to scramble to find out where it's going to go next. I don't think it's just students. I think it's all of us in general, all of us who are in the design service community. And by that, what I mean is, before any of us can offer a solution, we must understand what it is that we're trying to solve. And I think part of the problem that has occurred in today's society is that people listen to reply, they don't listen to understand. And in that way, I'm somewhat concerned of what is happening now, where there was such a rush to see, let's get our offices open, so what do we need to do to fix this, to make it safe, to make it right? And again, I use the word rush because have we really thought this out? Have we really talked this through? And so what this illustrates is the key skill of learning how to listen.